My name is Ms. Evelyn Parker, and even after 20 years of teaching, there's one student I can never forget. The first day I met him changed me, not just as a teacher, but as a person. It was my first morning at Maplewood Elementary, a small school tucked behind tall oak trees. The classroom smelled faintly of chalk and floor polish. Sunlight streamed through the dusty windows, lighting up the wooden desks. 20 children sat before me, some smiling, some whispering, some shyly watching. I turned to the blackboard and wrote, Miss Evelyn Parker. When I faced them again, I smiled. Good morning, class. I'm your new teacher this year. I'm so excited to learn with you. As I looked around, my eyes stopped on a boy sitting in the front row. His shirt was wrinkled, his hair uncombed, and his shoes untied. He wasn't smiling. He looked small, almost invisible. His name was Daniel Brooks. From the beginning, something about Daniel unsettled me. He rarely spoke. His homework was always messy. When I called on him, his voice barely rose above a whisper. I sighed more often at his desk than at anyone else's. Without realizing it, I grew colder. I gave my energy to the cheerful children, and Daniel slipped further into the background. Weeks passed. Every time he forgot a notebook or stared blankly at the board, my patience thinned. I told myself he didn't care. Then, one quiet afternoon, the principal asked me to review each student's file before the parent-teacher meeting. After everyone left, I sat alone at my desk, the sunlight fading, and opened Daniel's record. The first note from his first-grade teacher read, Daniel is cheerful and friendly, a joy to have in class. I blinked. Cheerful, friendly? The next note said, Daniel's mother has been ill. He worries a lot, but he's still doing well. My heart sank as I turned the page. Mother passed away this winter. Daniel tries, but his father doesn't seem involved. Often comes to school unwashed and hungry. By the fourth grade, the words were painful to read. Withdrawn. Doesn't speak. No interest. Seems hopeless. I put the file down, tears blurring the ink. My chest ached. I realized how blind I had been. This boy wasn't careless. He was broken. He'd lost his mother, and I had punished him for his grief. That night, I made myself a promise. I would change. The next morning, when Daniel walked into class, I greeted him first. Good morning, Daniel, I said softly. His eyes flickered with surprise. I liked your drawing yesterday, I added. You're good at shading. He didn't answer, but a tiny spark lit in his eyes. From that day, I began again. When he tried, I noticed. When he succeeded, even a little, I praised him. I gave him small responsibilities, erasing the board, passing out papers, and each time his confidence grew a little more. Slowly, he began to raise his hand. Sometimes he even smiled. When Christmas came, the classroom buzzed with laughter. The children brought me gifts wrapped in shiny paper. Then Daniel walked up with a small, crumpled brown bag. This is for you, he said quietly. Inside was an old bracelet missing a few stones and a small half-empty bottle of perfume. Some kids giggled. I smiled and lifted the bracelet. How beautiful, I said gently. It's perfect. I slipped it onto my wrist and dabbed a little perfume on my hand. Now I smell wonderful, I said brightly. The children fell silent. Daniel smiled, truly smiled, for the first time. After class, he lingered near my desk. His eyes were watery as he whispered, Miss Parker, You smell just like my mom used to. My throat tightened. I hugged him gently. Thank you, Daniel, I said. That means more than you know. From that day, he changed. His work improved. His laughter returned. He began helping other kids, tutoring the younger ones during recess. My classroom felt warmer, as if one small light had turned on after a long night. Years passed. Daniel grew up, and I taught many more children, but none stayed in my heart like him. One spring afternoon, I received a letter. The handwriting was shaky but familiar. Dear Ms. Parker, I wanted you to be the first to know. I graduated high school today. I finished third in my class. You were the first person who believed I could do it. Thank you. Love, Daniel. Tears filled my eyes. I placed the letter in my drawer beside the old bracelet. A few years later, another letter came. Dear Ms. Parker, I finished college. It was hard, but every time I wanted to give up, I remembered what you said. Don't let your pain decide who you become. I didn't. Gratefully, Daniel. My heart swelled with pride. And then, one autumn morning, I found a final letter written in neat handwriting. Dear Miss Parker, I'm getting married this spring. You were the closest thing I ever had to a mother. Would you please sit where my mom would have sat, in the front row at my wedding? Love always, Daniel. The day of the wedding was bright and full of laughter. As I took my seat in the front row, I wore the same bracelet, the one with the missing stones. My hands trembled, not with age, but with pride. When Daniel walked down the aisle in his black suit, he smiled at me. After the ceremony, he leaned down and whispered, "Thank you for loving me when no one else did." I smiled through tears and whispered, "You're the one who taught me what love truly means." As music filled the air and the guests cheered, I closed my eyes. The little boy with messy hair and tired eyes faded from my memory, replaced by the man who stood before me, strong, kind, and whole again. Some people think teaching is about books and lessons, but it's not. It's about seeing the pain behind the silence and helping a child find light again. Families may break, hearts may shatter, but love, in any form, can build something whole again.